Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
Oh boy, this is the board game rundown. Today we are doing a Kickstarter preview for the second edition of We Have Goats. We Have Goats is a tile placement game, and then you are playing cards to move goats around. Maybe your goats, maybe your frenemies' goats.
Yeah.
You're going to have a couple of superpowers that you can unlock. And then you're going to have a hand of 5 cards, right? It's 5 cards.
Start with 5, draw an extra on your turn.
Right. So at the beginning of your turn, you draw a card, and then you are going to play a card to do a thing, or discard a card to draw 2 land cards to then add to this tableau. Because what we're trying to do is we could use this card. It can move my goat for 5, or I could spend the goat bucks and assign that to one of my powers that I'm trying to unlock. But if I don't do that, I play this card to move my goat, one of my goats 5. And if I'm the red player, and then, 1, 2, if you hit a slide, you slide to the end of it. So those are tough, but yeah, you're just moving along the tile. You're moving on the spaces. You're going to do the things. And then as you go, the board's going to get seated and do other things. You're going to be able to move things around. You're going to have abilities that will let you hop over bushes or rocks. These tiles are like frozen, so you can't move them. Mm-hmm. They're locked in. But you could also replace tiles. Like, well, I don't like that one being there. Or maybe this dude's over here, and it's like, well, I don't like that one, so I'm going to replace this one. So now it's easier to get my goats out of the pen. Right. Things like that.
There's also Goat-tastrophe cards.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of fun things. There's Goat Nami. Mm-hmm. Remove a land card. Goats on it faint and float to the closest land space. So it's really funny because these goats right now, they're face up. You see their happy little goat face. Mm-hmm. If they faint, you see their butts.
It's a butt.
But yeah, so this would go, it would float to the nearest space. So basically to become conscious again, you would, if I played a movement card, 2 moves, I'd have to spend the first move to stand up, and then I can move the rest of my movement the normal way. And what I'm trying to do throughout this game is to get my goats from the other pens to my pen.
Yep.
And other players are doing the same things simultaneously. That's really kind of it. I mean, everybody's going to have different powers that they can choose to try to unlock. You're going to have different ways. You're going to be able to put things out on the board, add new land cards and do things like that.
There's some take that.
There's definitely some take that. There's some cancel the, oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did.
Right. There's a draw 2, play 1. So there's different abilities. So again, you're going to just draw two of these cards, and I'm going to play one of them. Goat Kano, right? That's a great one. Draw 3 land cards and play them.
That's awesome.
Because when the board starts, and it's a max of 5x5, right? 5. And when the board starts, we're gonna like all take turns sort of seeding the board.
Everybody gets 3 to start, and you seed with those 3.
Right, and you don't even have to play in front of your own. You can play anywhere you want. Oh yeah, there you go. They should be facing so that the doors are out. Whoop, whoop. But it's very straightforward, very easy to get started because then once everybody has seeded the board, it's unlikely that there's a path for one of your goats. So you're really early on probably going to be drawing cards or discarding cards so you can draw the land cards and try to play some because it's a draw 2, play 1. So it gives you some options. Oh well, or
you draw 2 with like the same.
Draw
card.
2 that are nearly the same.
That's funny.
But that's how you play We Have Goats.
Yeah, you have 2 abilities at the start of the game. You can get more via some cards, and you have cards, like you said, when you tuck the money under, that'll slowly be accumulating money. People can steal that money under the card until you have at least the correct amount of money you need. So if you need $14, you need at least $14 under it. And then once you get there, that ability is locked, and you have that ability for the rest of the game. You don't have the ability until you've paid for it.
Right. And there's cards that give you the ability to steal the money. So it's not just like, oh, I'm going to steal your money. Like, no. You got to play a card.
The card that does it.
You got to play a card to do it. And it can be tough because you need to play a card to be able to move. And sometimes you don't have enough movement, or you don't have enough money and things like that. But you're always drawing a new card every round. You're always replacing cards that you've played. If you do like a no you didn't or a yes I did. And so I mean the cards come and go like relatively quickly. I found most of the cards to be very useful. So even if it's like, well, this isn't my favorite thing to do right now, this is still pretty useful. And there's some funny abilities in there. There's got a cute sense of humor built into the game.
The art's a bit cheeky. I like the goats.
Yeah, I love that the goats are always just stiff-legged.
Yeah.
Like even blowing out of the goat Kano.
Yeah, they're still like
The fainting goats. Yeah. There's nothing funnier than a fainting goat.
There's not much funnier than that. No.
But yeah, what'd you guys think of We Have Goats?
Guys, listen, it's We Have Goats. Okay, we just explained the game. You know if you like it or not. So check it out if you do. Peace. It was fun. I wasn't expecting to have that much fun out of a little card placement game, basically, right? You're placing these tiles down, you're moving your goats around. The only thing that is going to be a hiccup for some people is it is a take that game. So as you get further into the game, like if one person is much farther in the lead than everyone else, then the game does kind of become jump on the leader. Pile on the leader, right? To where the other players have to decide, okay, am I wasting my turn just to hurt the opponent or to help myself? Or if I just help myself, that person's really close to winning. I can just force the next guy in line to maybe
hopefully
have
they'll
to stop.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of that as you get later into the game. Early game is not so much. You're just playing games, but it's going to more and more mean as the game goes on. And so the game will, when you start the game, it feels like it's going to be really short. And when you're about halfway through, you can be like, okay, that's how long the game's going to take. Like you can more accurately judge the time once you're halfway through the game. But other than that, yeah, the slides are super fun to do because
hilarious.
So like he said, so if I step on the first step here, I slide, and now this one has an exit here and an exit all the way down here. So I can choose to stop right before this exit, or I can choose to stop right before this exit. Now it's also important though. Let's say I step on this and I slide all the way down here. You can walk back up them. Right, if you're on them, but I also could just step off and then step on, and now it's
now you slide all the way back
But
down.
sometimes you go over here and then things change. You're like, actually, I want to go this way, so then you need to walk back up to go across a different angle, right? Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, your goats, you're getting them into your pin. You're playing cards in a 5x5 grid, and you're activating extremely broken abilities.
Yeah,
they're all pretty strong.
They are all pretty strong.
Yeah.
They're all pretty strong,
and they're all you could guess. Right now, without having to play the game, what quite a few of them are, right? You look and you're like, I'll tell you guys, one of the rules is you can't walk through trees. Guess what one of the abilities is? You found it out. One of the things in the game is you can't walk through rocks. Guess what one of the abilities is? You can guess most of them just based on the game.
I found some very cool ones though that we didn't see when we played. So the Chupacabrasaurus, goats can travel diagonally.
Dan had that.
I had.
Oh, you did? I didn't. Zombie kitty. Jump over a goat with a move, causing it to faint.
Nice.
Ghost Town Showdown. Goats can occupy the same space as other goats.
Cool.
Because normally, we kept
blocking
Bob. Yeah, and then there's the wide awake pancake, so you don't faint. The goat yoga. One of you guys had goat yoga, which was really good.
We both did.
Split your move between your goats.
Because then I got the double move one, so it's like, I'll do 10 moves and split those between my
goats.
And
then
the
rainbow one's the best one in the game.
The double rainbow is pretty fantastic. And again, they're all the abilities have a cost associated with them, and I feel like it's pretty balanced. The stronger abilities cost way more, and some of the lighter abilities a little bit cheaper.
Sure. Seems like it.
But Bobby, what'd you think?
I like how cheeky it is. There's this running joke going on with my mom. She's from a small island, and they had goats, and sometimes goats was a form of currency over there. So my nieces are always giving her a hard time about goats and having goats and who stole her goats. So now there's a game here that I found that we have goats, and I think that they're gonna have a ton of fun with that, and just how cute the goats are and the little goat butts.
Sure.
I think it's gonna be a hit with them. So
goats are very memeable too. You have goat head is a famous expression that people say that means go ahead, basically. Goat means greatest of all time. It's a very memeable theme, so it makes sense to put it on something like this.
But no, the biggest problem that I had with it was like Dan was kind of mentioning, where you're getting towards the end, and it really just becomes okay, well, I'll take all of our turns are just now keeping Dan from getting his last goat in the pin, and not so much me moving
advancing
mine.
yourself.
No, and you have to balance that, right? Because otherwise, if I'm just trying to stop you, well, then I'm now letting Dan go. I mean, it balances itself out, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I would just say focus early on to try to keep players as even as possible. Don't let one person start running away early, or it's going to be real hard later.
Yep.
Agreed. This game's it's super fun. It's goofy, lightweight, family style. And for me, there's always room in my collection for games like this because they'll get played. You can play this at a convention. You can play this at a meetup. You can play this at a family gathering, and it's gonna hit the table. It doesn't really overstay its welcome. It's done in a half an hour, and it can get a little leader bashy towards the end. But again, you can only do so much of that because somebody else is just gonna sneak by and catch up and win. And so it's like, well, that's what you get. And so just play again. Do better. But yeah, no, this game is fun. It's cute. I like the jokes. I appreciate the humor. I like the art. And yeah, it's fun. It's breezy.
Beautiful cover girl.
Yeah, beautiful cover goat. Easy breezy cover goat. But yeah, no, it was a good time. It was a good time. Super fun, very light. Nice. Anything else, guys?
No. If you guys are interested, go try out
Goat.
this game.
Oh, that's another thing that we do all the time is goat head.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go. Like when it's your turn, goat head.
Yeah, that's funny, Tim.
That's hilarious.
I thought so.
Okay.
Well, we kept laughing when you were doing it the other night because you kept
did.
going goat head.
Because I say that all the time when I play Magic. And
Yeah.
then now it was like, oh, it's a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for keeping that not awkward. All right, guys. Yeah, very straightforward. We have goats. Check it out. It's on Kickstarter, if not now, very soon.
Soonish.
And for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
Dan.
We'll see you next time.